Award project, a skating safety video, increase the safety of skaters on the ice. And whereas Ashley has demonstrated her leadership skills, organizational talents, and her belief in giving back to the community, and whereas the City of Groton is proud of her accomplishment and recognizes Ashley for her outstanding citizenship and dedication to scouting, therefore be it resolved that I, Keith Hedrick, Mayor of the City of Groton, on behalf of the City Council and all citizens of the city, congratulate Girl Scout Gold Award recipient Ashley Morrell for her outstanding achievement and proclaim the week of August 2nd, 2020 through August 8th, 2020 as Ashley Morrell Week in the City of Groton, given under my hand this third day of August 2020, signed Keith Hedrick, Mayor. Okay. So if you have a mask, well, do you want to do pictures now or later? All right, you know what? We'll do pictures in a minute. You know what? No, let's do this. Well, this is the first award that we've done during COVID, so please bear with me.
Are we all doing pictures?
Well, let me present this to her, and then we'll get those pictures. And Mom, if you want to take pictures, how do you want to do this? So we can do this and still socially distance for masks for fun. Actually, this is not the first one I've done. It is the first one we've done. Okay? You come on. Take as many as you want.
So I'm attached from the project and I brought one for you.
Oh wow, how great is this? Look at this. For the love of skating. How cool is this? We'll pass this around so people can see this. So this is for you. And I was going to let Ashley speak, and then we'll.
We need to turn that microphone on if Ashley is going
Is it not
to
on?
speak. No, I don't turn it on because the batteries run out.
Here.
Hi everyone, I'm Ashley from Girl Scout Troop 6815. I have been a Girl Scout for 13 years, and now I am one of 80 in Connecticut to earn the Girl Scout Gold Award. I chose to do For the Love of Skating for my project because I'm an ice guard at the Norwich Ice Rink, and I see way too many people fall and hurt themselves because they're not prepared. So in response, I made For the Love of Skating, and I did a video that is posted on the rink's website to show how to skate, the basics of skating, how to tie your skates, what to wear, just to be prepared so that people are less likely to get hurt. And I also held a skating day for local Girl Scouts in the area so that they could participate in the program. And it was a great success because the rink was so supportive and they donated the ice time and the coaching so that it was a great day. This is definitely not the end of Girl Scouting for me because I was recently voted onto the board of directors of Girl Scout Connecticut for 3 years. And I'm also planning on being a lifetime member as an adult for Girl Scouting so I can stay involved in the community. Thank you.
For those of you that are not aware, this Gold Award is equivalent to the Boy Scout, Eagle Scout Award. A lot of people don't realize that and don't know that. There is as much energy and effort involved in obtaining this level in the Girl Scouts as there is for the Boy Scouts with Eagle Scouts. So a lot of people don't recognize that and don't necessarily know that. So this is an opportunity for those people that aren't aware of that. So now you do. So what do we want to do?
Do you want to take pictures with the whole council?
Ashley, are you okay with that? Do you want to do that? Okay. Then we're going to recess for a quick moment so that we can do pictures. Everybody has masks.
On the seal?
Second.
The seal or out there?
Well, where do you think we should do it?
I don't know if you can all get by the seal.
You want to do it in front
You could.
If you go on a straight line, you
Only
can do the
because
seal.
you just moved that. Well, go ahead. Let's go back to the seal. Say your name.
I mean, this doesn't happen very often, so let's take full advantage of please.
leave it out. With my mask.
I can get you.
We have a mask.
Please?
Yep, absolutely. We're not gonna let masks stop this. We have masks.
Well, special congratulations.
Thank you.
This is very near and dear to my heart because I was not only a Girl Scout leader, but I was figure skater when I was younger.
Oh, wow.
So this is like, wow, this is right in my wheelhouse.
It is, absolutely.
Fantastic job.
So how do we wanna, can you get us in? 'Cause I'm not gonna get a lot thinner.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Smile.
Thank you.
Did that work? Ashley? Thank you so very much. All right.
And I just got a text from the Director of Parks and Rec saying that Ashley is an employee of the city.
All right.
She's a Park and Rec staff.
Okay, that's great. Thank you both for coming in.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Ashley. That's tremendous.
For you to know, to see it.
Well, you can just leave it down there on the other table. And
Didn't see it, right?
we'll figure out what to do with it. Okay, on the next, thank you.
I guess
The next recognition.
we get a week.
What's that?
We now know what we need to do if we want a week dedicated to us in this season.
There's the standard. 13 years, right? All right. Hold on, let me clear these. The next one is a proclamation for Ralph Winslow from Boswell Light and Power Utility Commission. And for those of you that are not familiar with Ralph, Ralph was on the Boswell Light and Power Utilities Commission for several years. And he just recently decided to get out of the business. He's going to retire. And so I did a proclamation to honor him. So from the Office of the Mayor, City of Groton, Connecticut, proclamation, Ralph Winslow. Whereas Ralph Winslow was sworn in as a Utility Commission, Boswell Light and Power Company on the 17th day of February in the year 2000, and has served as a dedicated member for the last 20 years. And whereas in his dedication, he has attended no less than 50 regular meetings and 28 special meetings of the Boswell Light and Power Utility Commission. And whereas the leadership provided by the Electric Utility Commission impacts the community in which it serves, and Ralph Winslow has impacted the decisions of the Utilities Commission, which have promoted the growth of electric utilities in the town of Basra, Lebanon, and Montville. And whereas he has served as a member delegate for Boswell Light and Power at CMEC, and whereas his engineering expertise has added value to operations excellence, and whereas this commission is extremely grateful for the service provided by Ralph Winslow for the past 20 years. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Keith Hedrick, Chairman of the Board of the Basra Light and Power Utility Commission, do hereby honor Ralph Winslow for his dedication and commitment to the Basra Light and Power Company, serving the towns of Basra, Lebanon, and Montville. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Groton to be herein affixed, dated the 3rd day of August 2020. Signed, Keith Hedrick, Mayor. So Ralph also has a tie here to the base in that he was a submariner as well, and he worked at Pfizer. So he has a tie to this community as well. So that's the recognition and awards. Is there any other recognitions or awards from the council? Okay. Receipt of citizens' petitions. Receipt of citizens' petition is the portion of the council meeting where the council welcomes comments from citizens. To address the council, please call 860-440-9974. Clearly state your name and address. Each presentation should be limited to 5 minutes or less, and citizens should, if possible, submit emailed or written comments. Presentations should be related to matters pertinent to the City of Groton. City councilors will only ask questions in order to clarify the speaker's presentation and can respond during the responses to citizens' petitions portion of the meeting. And we have an individual, Gerald O'Donovan from Electric Boat, who would like to present. He has already given his presentation once to the RTM. Keep going? Okay. All right, we'll come back to citizens petition and response to citizen petitions. We'll move on to the minutes. I need a motion to approve the July 6, 2020 Mayor and Council meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any corrections? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. I need a motion for the July 27, 2020 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any corrections? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Communications and reports. Councilor McCabe.
Nothing to report, sir.
Okay.
Nothing
Councilor
reported.
Sampson?
Nothing reported this time.
Councilor Depot.
I attended the Police and Community Together meeting on 7/9,
Okay.
which I thought was before another meeting, but we didn't have business the last meeting, so. And I just want to say, like, it was very educational to attend the meeting and just listen to people talk. I would encourage any people in the community, if you have any input, feel free to email. You know, if there's, right now with COVID, we're kind of limiting attendance, I think. But if anyone has feedback, send to the council, to the police chief, and, you know, anyone who, you know, give us a call.
Sure.
But the more information we have, the better, because I think we all heard from people that we may not have met in person before, and I think it was a great first meeting, and I
Okay.
think
Well, I agree with you.
it'll be really good going forward.
Okay, good. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it was a great group that volunteered to come together, and we had some other people there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very informative and very positive. It was enlightening and positive, and I think it's a great start, and I have a lot of hope for where it's going to take us. Councilor Ortiz.
Nothing to report, sir.
Councilor Carter.
Nothing to report.
Deputy Mayor Becker.
Nothing to report.
Okay. I have a couple things. One, the primary elections are going to be Tuesday, August 11th. That's next Tuesday. This is the municipal building in the auditorium is for District 3 votes. And this year, District 2 will vote at the Zabierski House because West Side is being torn down. So the polling place for District 2 will be at the Zabierski House. Let's see. Oh, and because it's during the COVID, make sure you wear your mask. There's gonna be lines for social distancing and those kind of things. So this is gonna be a challenge for us during the COVID, but I've been assured that everything's been worked out and we should be okay both here and at the Zabierski House. So, second thing is census workers. There are census people, you know, we've been talking about the 2020 census. If for those of you that are watching television, you can still go to my2020census.gov and fill out your census information, or if not, census workers will be coming to your door. They'll be knocking on your door to validate and to ask you to fill out, help you fill, or get you to fill out the information there. They will have credentials. There'll be a badge with their photo ID, so you'll be able to identify who they are. Your information is safe. It's as easy to do, and it's very important to do. There is federal funding that is tied to the numbers of people, and that's $2,900 per person per year. The census is 10 years from now, so that'll be $29,000 that could go to local programs and school programs and things like that here. And I just want to let you know, due to the impending storm that is coming in tomorrow night, the farmers market is canceled for tomorrow night. So we'll cancel the farmers market for tomorrow night. Just want to let everybody know. That will also come out on Facebook, and you'll see that shared different locations in the tonight, as soon as it gets posted I'm done here, we'll start sharing. And that's it for communications and reports. All right, we will now go to receipt of citizens petitions. Receipt of citizens petitions, a portion of the council meeting where the council welcomes comments from citizens. To address the council, please call 860-440-9974. Clearly state your name and address. Each presentation should be limited to 5 minutes or less. And citizens should, if possible, submit email or written comments. Presentations should be related to matters pertinent to the city of Groton. City councilors will only ask questions in order to clarify a speaker's presentation and can respond during the response to citizens petitions portion of the meeting. Tonight we have Gerald O'Donovan, who works at Electric Boat, who has a presentation for the council. He has also presented this to the RTM last month. So last month, and then we've asked him to come here to present to the city council since this pertains in our area on Eastern Point Road. So with that, we'll turn it over to you, Gerald.
Good evening. My name is Jerry O'Donovan. I currently reside at 510 Laurel Hill Road in Norwich, Connecticut. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Jerry O'Donovan. I currently reside at 510 Laurel Hill Road in Norwich, Connecticut. I was a Groton resident from 2002 through 2009. I was located at 210 Mitchell Street, and I'm currently an engineer at Electric Boat Campus at 75 Eastern Point Road. Ladies and gentlemen of the City of Groton Council and Mayor's meeting, I want to thank you for having me here and speak tonight. I would also like to thank my fellow coworker, Jamal Beckford, who is on the council and is offering me this open forum to express my concerns. I would also like to thank the Mayor, Keith Hendrick, and also Police Chief Spellman, who have both been working very closely with Paul Mersiglio, who is the Director of Safety at Electric Boat. Tonight, I would like to talk to you about a tragic event that occurred outside of EB on the night of April 21st, 2020 at approximately 10 o'clock p.m. Next slide. Shown here is a Google map along the area of Eastern Point Road. The arrow shows the stretch of road that I'll be talking about tonight. At approximately 10:08 p.m. on April 21st, a car was traveling in the direction of the arrow at a high rate of speed. Now, the posted speed limit is 25 in this area. I was outside and observed a car from about 75 feet away as a pedestrian was fatally struck in a crosswalk coming out of Electric Boat, the South Gate exit. Please let me elaborate further. Next slide. The crosswalk in question is shown here. The pedestrian was hit and was launched into the air 154 feet, ladies and gentlemen, 51 yards. That's half of a football field. As you can see, there's 10 handicap spaces between where he started and where he finally came to rest. The Connecticut State Accident Reconstruction Team was involved, and it was determined, not necessarily by them, but as an engineer, I did a quick calculation, and the car was traveling in excess of 60 miles an hour to launch a body 154 feet. All of this, ladies and gentlemen, on a road that's 25 miles an hour. You do 60 miles an hour on the highway, not next to Electric Boat. Next slide. Now, the City of Groton has been in contact with Electric Boat, as I said earlier, with the Mayor and Chief Spellman. The city commissioned with the University of Connecticut commissioned a traffic study in the area right next to the crosswalk where the accident occurred. They put up a radar speed detector that would check the volume of the road, the volume of the traffic, the times, and the speeds. That was a 2-week-long study, and that study was just completed last week. UConn has stated that the results will be completed and proposals will be made by the end of August. Now, in the meantime, while we're waiting for those, I have come up with a few ideas that I'd like to share with you in terms of 3 different proposals for things we can do in the area. Solution 1, next slide. Oh, I'm sorry. This is not the only highly trafficked area. These are all crosswalks along Eastern Point Road. The fatal accident just happened to occur on one of them, but I'd like to be talking about all of them right now. Solution 1, next slide. A removable speed bump could be placed in the area. It could be removable so that during the winter months, the snow removal teams and plows would not impede the traffic. It would not impede that, or they would not get damaged, so you just take them out in the winter months. But 9 months out of the year, those could be there to help potentially control this vehicle speed in the area. Now, if you're going to do that, you're going to be changing the traffic patterns, and you need to let drivers know that. Next slide. You could put caution, speed bump ahead signs right in front. Now, this is arbitrary. I just did it to save space, but this would probably need to be moved down here. But for an interest of pictorial, I thought it was easier just to do that. And it would only be on the one side coming down the hill here, and then way up here, there would be another one that would be there. And it would only be to slow the initial traffic down in that specific region where all those crosswalks are closely put together. So these would be coupled with solution number 1 to provide at least a way to impede traffic. Now, the third type of thing that you can do, next slide, is use pedestrian signs. Now, these are solar. They cost a little bit more, but they're solar. You don't have to hook them up to the power grid. And they also have sensors so that you can either push a button, or if the passive sensors will see pedestrians and the lights will start flashing. Now, you could strategically put, as I said, speed bump one here, another one only on one side of the road here, and then 3 of these. So the speed bump would effectively impede the traffic. Once that happens, the drivers would be forced to slow down and now be vigilant, seeing the flashing signs. Next slide. Now, UConn, as I said, is performing this traffic study. I just proposed 3 solutions. You never know. They might come up with submarine crossing, pedestrian-only crossing, tank crossing. We don't know what they're going to provide, but we do know they are going to provide some resolution. So in the meantime, I'd like to get you thinking and engaged on what we can do in order to make this area safer. Next slide. Now, I'm just an employee at Electric Boat. I don't represent Electric Boat in any way other than just a concerned employee. However, safety is number 1 in our company, we've just reassessed our core values. If any of these proposals, 1, 2, or 3, you find good solutions, I'm sure if you guys engage with Electric Boat, as you have been, Mayor Kendrick and Chief Spellman, with Paul Marsiglio, I'm sure you guys can come up with some agreement, but I can't make that decision. I'm just a little worker bee. Next slide. Now, the bottom line is that if all of these crosswalks had speed bumps, it would significantly change the speed in the traffic area. This would provide a safer environment for the Electric Boat Groton campus as a whole. We currently employ about 14,000 people that come in and out of that area every day. We're currently looking in the next few years to ramp up another 3,000 to 5,000 people. So what does that mean? More people, more interactions at the traffic, between the traffic at the pedestrian crosswalks. So I ask you this, with this increased risk, I say spending money now is worth saving a life later, and that's very important to repeat. Spending money now is worth saving a life later. I want to thank you very much for your consideration to the proposal, and if you have any questions, I can answer them now.
Councilor Carter.
I don't have a question. I have more of a statement. First of all, did you say you witnessed that fatality?
I witnessed it.
So
I looked over his body and saw him dead.
I mean, my condolences for that, you know?
It was a little tough.
The second thing I want to say is, sometimes I'm guilty of not looking at our packets and seeing what's coming up, like as far as what's going on, as far as our agenda goes, you know?
Okay.
I had no clue that you were coming to present this to us today. But I want to tell you that I think things happen for a reason, right? And one of the referrals that I was going to do is to look at the safety, not only on Eastern Point Road, but also on Thames Street. I live on Thames Street. And cars travel extremely fast. And we've brought this up before in council as far as accessing possibly speed humps or whatever. And I was going to say that before you even came up. So I think there's a reason why, you know, things happen for a reason, you know.
Could I get your name later, sir, and we can talk about this?
Absolutely. I also think just living on Thames Street for the last 11 years, I know, I've seen it. It starts on Bridge Street, going down that street and go all the way down.
Yes,
so
sir.
I think that not only on Eastern Point Road, we need to start it there. And I think it needs to be speed humps, not the disposable things, because even those 3 months, you know, people travel excessively, you know. I think we need to look into that, you know. People don't obey the traffic laws at all, right? And one of the only reasons why a fatality of that sort hasn't happened even further down on Thames Street is because there's a lot of unoccupied businesses down there. If there was more business down there, we might have more of a cry or uproar with the business owners, you know. There's not even a lot of residents down there, you know. I mean, I'm one, but I see it. You know, there's like the race cars, you know, and they start from there. So they're not going to stop at EV, even though they should, you know. And another referral I was going to say, which we can get into, but I spoke with, I talked with Councilor Stanford about this very subject, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we mentioned this fatality. And it was only a matter of time that I was going to be brought up. And today was actually going to be the day. So I think we need to get this done, and I think that we don't need to wait as far as to see what UConn comes with a study. We need to stop traffic and slow traffic up like today. It shouldn't even be a money thing, in my opinion. So this is well thought out, and you're absolutely right. When it comes to lives and safety, it's a no-brainer. So I'm with you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilor Carter. Councilor Depot?
I just want to say thank you for coming today, because I know a lot of us encourage citizens to speak up about if they have thoughts or ideas, or, you know, because we can't always think of everything. So I really appreciate when people come and give us ideas about, especially solutions to a very clear problem. We all know this is a problem. I know I've lived in Groton almost my whole life, and when I have to drive down there, you can't even always see when someone's gonna cross, so I treat the crosswalks like a stop sign, because you can't really see until you get to it if people are gonna cross. Unfortunately, people who don't live around there or aren't paying attention all the time don't do that. I do think that the more ideas, the better, and I'm glad that UConn is doing this study also. But I also want to assure you, we've all been talking about this even before the fatality happened. It's been an issue forever.
Yes.
And like I said, it's a discussion that we've been having, and EB will obviously be a part of. But I'm all for doing something to change that. And I do think I kind of like the idea of the temporary speed bumps, only because it does cost a lot, and it does cause damage to snowplow trucks to have speed bumps, and it ends up being an issue with snow removal. And I like the idea of the lighted sign, because that does catch your attention. So I know all those will be in discussion, but thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much.
Any other councilors? Deputy Mayor Beckford.
Yeah, I concur with Councilor Carter and Councilor Depot. I live on Pleasant Street, and I rarely drive down Pleasant Street because then I have to deal with Dame Street, and it's hard to see left or right, and cars are going way too fast. I also work at Electric Boat, and I've walked that crosswalk, probably thousands of times, and I am there late occasionally when work demands it. So, this is something that does, it resonates with me, and I really do appreciate you coming out and talking to us about it. That's all I have.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I want to, like Jamal said, I want to resonate what he said. I wholeheartedly agree. I also work at Electric Boat. I work with the core values team myself, so I know that safety is a prime concern, and I think the city of Groton, safety is a prime concern. So I think all of our voices together will join yours in trying to find a good solution. I look forward to hearing what UConn study, what kind of solutions they could be echoing what your proposal, or they might come up with a creative solution that we haven't thought of yet. So I look forward to hearing what they have to say. I hope that will be shared back to the council when it comes.
As far as I know, yes, it's being, it was commissioned by the Groton City Council, if I understand Paul Marsiglio correctly. Is that right, Mayor? You guys commissioned that study?
I will address it when everybody else is done.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, sir.
Any other questions or comments from the council? Okay, a couple things. So when I got here in 2017, there was a discussion that there was going to be this new submarine that was going to be built, and it was going to bring in 5,000 new employees. So we started talking then about parking. We started talking about roadways and traffic studies, and we started talking about crosswalks and those kind of things. We have been working with Electric Boat for over a year now on issues, and some of the issues we've looked at are looking at is a crosswalk on Chicago Avenue to get across to the where the credit union was, but now where the medical center is and those kind of things. The challenge now is where the school was, there were 3 exits to that gate. There were gates there. The new design has just a solid fence there. So if there's going to be a solid fence there, there's no reason to put that crosswalk there. People can cross at Forest, or they could cross down at 5 Corners. But we're still working through that. We were also looking at a crosswalk on Forest and a crosswalk on West Eldrigan. We are looking at changing the flow pattern into the L lot with the entrance and the exits being swapped, but we're concerned about what that's going to do with the light patterns, traffic light patterns, and having backups. We're looking at additional lighting at the intersection of Mumford Avenue and Chester Street. We have checked the 2 poles at the intersection of Chester Street and Easter Point Road, and we've corrected the lights there. They were working intermittently, so we fixed that. The addition of a no parking here to corner across from the South Yard gate at the south corner of parking lot E lot and the visitor lot. There are trucks that stop there and obtain security passes at the badge control, so we're looking at that. Another thing we're looking at is the food trucks that are there. We're looking to move them on the other side of the road up by where the main gate is, or the south gate. Hold on. Nope,
Yeah,
north
correct.
gate.
Just
The north
north.
gate, where you used to get your badge.
Yeah, just north of the south gate, sir.
Okay.
Okay? So we're looking at doing that, and we're having walkthroughs. Weather got us, so we haven't done that yet, but we're having walkthroughs to look at that because they block the traffic and you can't see. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to add to that, they do block the crosswalk, and it's part of the reason I treat the crosswalk like a stop sign, because the food trucks are often in the way.
Right. So we are looking at that to eliminate that hazard. Another thing that I'm looking at, and it's gonna take a lot of people to decide whether or not we can do this or not do this, is where the parking garage is, where the entrance goes to the parking garage, just on the south end of that, what I want to do is put Jersey barriers there and take it up to the entrance of where the visitor lot is, put Jersey barriers there and make it a pedestrian mall. Because EVs, frankly speaking, the electric boat employees just walk when they want to walk and where they want to walk, most of the time, right? So if you stop traffic there and make that a pedestrian mall, then you eliminate that issue. The challenge we're going to have there is I haven't had my fire department and police department look at that yet, because we're going to have them look at that. We're going to have them evaluate this, because the speed bumps are not only an issue with plowing, but they also wreak havoc on the fire trucks. So these are things that we're looking at. And we've talked to Paul Marsiglio, and that is now on our list. The installation of flashing yield to pedestrian signs at each of the 7 crosswalks on Eastern Point Road. So we've been talking about this. There's a cost to that. They are expensive. We're looking, and we're going to have to get permission. We need to make sure that you just can't go down there and throw up any sign you want to go, put up any sign anywhere you want to do this, right? So we may have to have a study that does this, and this is one of the things we've asked UConn to take a look at. So I'll be interested to see the results of the report. Additional lighting at the North Yard Gate located on Thames Street, we did. And we also, I had GU go down there at night and look at the Cobra headlights, the overhead lights on the street, and we replaced some lights on the electric boat side, which helped with their security, and we replaced a couple lights on the city side to help with the illumination of the roadway.
When you say you replaced lights, what do you mean by that?
We literally replaced the burned out lights. There were lights that weren't functioning properly.
Okay.
In addition to that, we also down to North Gate, across from the barber shop, we put additional lighting there to add additional lighting to that crosswalk, because that crosswalk wasn't as well lit as what we wanted. So we are working with a group of EB guys that are led by Paul, and then I'm leading the team here. Chief Spellman's on it. Ron Mark Byron from GU is on it. Tim Umbers is on it. And Carlton Smith is on it to make sure that we're going to meet all the requirements and get all the wickets and dot the I's and cross the T's. So we are looking at that and other things. We're focusing. So there's a whole bunch of things that are interrelated, right? Number of people, how you going to get them in, how you going to get them out, where you going to put them. That's part of it, right? Because we have a pedestrian nightmare with people walking and coming up from M lot and the L lot and other lots, and then trying to find parking. There's also a JLUS study, Joint Land Use Study, that has been recently approved by the Navy. It's going to be an 18-month long study to look at parking and other issues associated with vehicular traffic, parking, and pedestrian traffic. In addition to that, if that's not enough, the state now is looking to pave from Chester Street down to Benham. So they're going to mill and overlay that, and they're going to do what they call as a road diet. And basically what that does is that we'll take it from being a 3-lane road to a 2-lane road, which gets you wider shoulders. The problem I have with that is the wider shoulders is going to invite people to park, even though there's no parking signs there. So that's an issue. In addition to that, I'm concerned about the truckloads of concrete that are going to be needed for the building of Building 600 and for the structural steel and other things. But the state appears that they are going to go in that direction. So I've sent information to senior management at Electric Boat, senior management at Pfizer, and we're going to send it to the local residents that are going to be impacted on Eastern Point Road. And when the public hearing, when the state comes out and tells us when the public hearing is going to be and gets that published, we'll make sure that that's out so that we can get people to come and express their concerns about that. Because as you know, the citizens already have put up with the noise from the building and the drilling of the piers and the dirt pile and other things they've had to deal with. Now this week, Electric Boat is supposed to have a meeting with AECom so that they can talk to them and have AECom explain why they need to work on Sundays. I don't think they need to work on Sundays, that's my opinion. It's not really worth a lot at this point because I don't have skin in the game, but Electric Boat at this point appears to agree, and we're going to see if we can at least give the residents a day off. So we're looking at that as well. So all this is tied together. We are working closely with Electric Boat so we can figure out all the problems and not just this one, but this is one of the ones that we're looking at as well. So, Councilor Carter.
Yeah. I guess I can appreciate the studies that we're doing as far as like the lighting and the crosswalks. I don't know what was your first name, sir?
Gerard, Jerry.
Jerry?
Yeah.
So I my full-time job, I work for the Connecticut State Police, right?
Okay.
So I am just talking practical right now. Those types of people that are driving in that area, they're practically speaking, they're not concerned about lighting. They're not concerned about crosswalks, you know? They just drive fast, you know? Like Councilor Depot was saying, she's a cautious driver, so she's aware of what's going on around her, just as anybody is if they were a cautious driver. I think when somebody that disobeys the traffic laws, if you're driving at a certain speed, it's really not going to matter if there's a crosswalk ahead or a lighting ahead. They're going to hit that person anyway. You're only going to see that if you're a cautious driver, right? Essentially, if you think about it. So I think and I'm no scientist, but practically speaking, I think what we need to do is slow cars down. And what's slowing cars down right now, that's like you said, with maybe the signage, maybe the humps or I don't know. I'm not really concerned about the trucks. I'm concerned about lives, you know? I think if our highway department knows where these humps are, they can just raise their gates and put them back down. That's something simple to save a life. I think that possibly putting city police cruisers there during the let-out hours of when Electric Boat is getting out, that's something that we can do right now, you know? Even if it's flashing, you know, flashing lights when the Mayhay gets out, you know? Because like you said, Mayor, even if you do have crosswalks, I know just for living in Groton my whole life and in Groton City the last 11 years, when they get out of work, not all of them are going on the crosswalks. They're just starting out, you know? So, and I say this because I don't think we should be worried about, I mean, we should be worried about the lights and the crosswalks, but that's not gonna fix the issue. The fixing the issue is, what are we gonna do to slow the cars down?
My point in expressing all this is that we started working with Electric Boat over a year ago, and there's a lot of issues there. If you can't see the crosswalks, then that's an issue. That's why they wanted additional lighting down there, was so that they could see the crosswalks. That was a specific request from Electric Boat that we looked at.
As far as
the bumps is something that is brand new. We have not had a chance to evaluate it. We've not had a chance to look at it. We have not even discussed it yet with Electric Boat.
All right.
We are going to do that, but we have not had an opportunity to do that yet. I encourage you to give Chief Spellman a call, and maybe with your experience and your expertise,
I don't
something
have
that
the
you can share with
expertise.
them.
I just know I've mentioned that the humps before, and I know that for sure, and nothing's happened. So I said we have to slow the cars down. That's all I'm saying. By the time that study comes out, I think there's certain things that we can put in place that we don't even need to be expensive. You know what I mean? Like I mentioned, the enforcement with the lights, like just being the omnipresence of the police. There's certain things that we can do now that can slow the cars down. I think that's our biggest concern.
Okay. Anything else from council? Jerry?
One quick point of order on the removable speed bumps. They are designed for various different speeds, so the varying height of that will determine whether you're going to do a 15, 20, 25, 30, etc. sign. Now, I don't want to say you be fooling the people, but if you got a speed bump that was designed for 30 miles an hour, say, and you told them 15 miles an hour, the fire trucks could still go over those, say, at 30 miles an hour. Once again, it's a little bit trickery between the sign and the actual value of the rating, but there is a way you could do it, still show that the regular traffic flow says, okay, here's my speed limit. If I don't want to break my fillings out when I go over this speed bump, I want to do 15 miles an hour. However, the Groton Fire Department or any emergency vehicle that needs to go over that would know that potentially they could do at least 30 miles an hour or whatever you choose to impede the rest of the traffic, but they could do higher speed, if you will, and not damage their vehicle suspension.
Okay.
So you could maybe do something like that.
I'm sure we'll evaluate it.
Okay.
Is there anything else? Okay, then that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
And I have
Thank you very much for your
Chief
time.
Spellman's card for you. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to committee referrals. Any of the council have committee referrals?
I do, sir.
Okay, what's your committee referral?
Like I mentioned to him before, I would also, I don't know what that study, is that, I'm asking you a question. Is that study extended onto Bridge Street going on to Thames Street? Because I was gonna mention this before he even brought it up. Like, with the humps or the signage or whatever to slow traffic down.
I don't know where Chief had it commissioned.
'Cause
I don't know if it includes how far down Thames it goes. And I don't think it goes all the way to Bridge Street because it wasn't considered an issue.
Yeah, well, it is an issue, but I brought it up, like I said before. My cars start from Bridge Street going down to Thames Street where I live, and they're like speed racers, and they start there, you know? So I would like to look at that as far as speed.
So,
Refer to public safety.
so what are you, okay, so what are you referring? You're referring,
There's two different things I'm referring. What he mentioned with this, you had left. I mentioned this already. I can elaborate if you want me to.
well, you're gonna need to so that we can get it captured for the record
Okay.
to put it on
Look,
committee.
I would like to work on what we can do to slow traffic down from Bridge Street going on to Thames Street. So going into, would that be north to south? That'd be north to south. Cars travel fast, extremely fast. That's one thing we need to look on. And like I said, that carries over onto Eastern Point Road. If they're not shot down there, they continue on Eastern Point Road. So it's one and the same. And the other thing I want to look at, again, every day from Broad Street to, say, Church Street, we have to look at, and I brought this up before too, as far as the no parking or maybe temporary parking, or like maybe during a certain time frame parking, because there's accidents, frequent accidents of side swipes, in the little, I don't know what you call it, the S-curl, the little.
Yeah, it's like a little twisty area. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're talking about on Thames Street.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're talking Thames Street From
Broad to
Broad
Church.
Street down to School Street?
Yes.
Okay,
That's, I think we need to look at to see if it's efficient to continue parking there, because there's no parking there, and cars are essentially, when you go south, they're in the middle of the roadway. And there's trucks that come there to EB, they can't fit there, and constantly people beep, till there's always side swipes, it's bad there.
well, they shouldn't be using, no large trucks should be using
I know that,
Main Street.
and they do.
Right.
They're supposed to come down Clarence B. Sharp. That's the purpose.
Yep.
349 was designed for that,
Yep.
so that you wouldn't have large truck traffic in the city.
And they do, and I'm not so sure if there's signs that say no trucks. I don't think there is, but there's huge
Okay.
trucks. But furthermore, so if we know that trucks can't fit down there, we're having trouble with regular sized cars going both ways. It's very, very narrow, very narrow. And if you're not a good driver, you're gonna hit somebody, and that frequently happens. I don't know how many times I've left my house because there's been a side swiper of some sort. And the only people that actually park there aren't I mean, I don't want to differentiate for rental or owners, but lifelong people that have lived there, they don't park there. They park at off-street parking. It's like the very short-term rental people that park there, and because they know it's
Okay.
you know, we need to look at that. We've brought it up a couple times
Okay?
about safety.
Well, if it hasn't made it to the committee, then it hasn't made it to the committee. What, I don't care how many times it's been brought up, is if it's now going to the committee, it'll be evaluated at the committee. Right?
But I don't know. I just know that it needs to get looked at. Just telling you.
Okay? Anything else for a committee referral? Okay. Committee meetings? Since we're on committee meetings? We haven't had committee meetings in a long time. I know we're in the middle of COVID and everything else, but there's a lot of action items in the committee meetings. So I need you guys to get together and figure out how you want to hold meetings. You can hold them here with you guys and the staff, as long as they're socially distanced. You can hold them via Zoom. I'm okay with that. You'll need to work with Jill to set up the Zoom meeting, and we can do that, Councilor Depot.
Can we hold them outside? Like, could we hold them on the lawn outside? Like, everyone bring a chair?
Sure. As long as.
There's no prohibition, right? As long as we follow Robert's rules.
Absolutely.
You know, you can do them outside as long as you follow Robert's rules.
I mean, I think that's a better idea than, I would prefer that to meeting inside.
Okay? I'm okay with that. It's up to you as committee members.
The only
Just have
thing,
to make sure you
if
get
it
your
rains, the only
notes.
But I mean,
Go with it.
for these meetings, we need electronics.
Right.
For our group meetings, we handwrite the notes anyways, so
Absolutely.
it'd be no different.
Sure.
Yep,
Okay.
I agree. I have no issue with it as long as we follow Robert's rules.
Okay, what I would like is for each group to get back to me no later than Wednesday with when you wish to meet, what time you wish to. You can meet at any time that works for all of you, and I can make that a special meeting. In fact, I was going to talk to all of you beginning in January. If you would like to change the time of your meetings so that you don't have special meetings, you do not have to meet at 7:30. There is nothing that requires that group meetings be at 7:30. So also give that some thought, and I can change that time, and then that will go into the list that goes to the Secretary of State's office. So that will be, if you decide 5:30, 6 o'clock, so that you get that done sooner. And the good thing is when you ask for staff, it helps the staff to not have to come back or wait later.
Anything else on committee referrals? Okay, new business, Councilor McCabe.
Resolution
The number
R.
is incorrect, it should be 8. It should be R2880. It says 7.
Yep, you're right.
Resolution R-20-8-80. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council approve the request for a memorial bench at Eastern Point Beach in tribute of Barbara and Murray Frucht in accordance with the procedures for consideration of beach and parks memorials as approved by the mayor and council. I so move.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. This was discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Councilor Stanford.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution R-20-8-81. Therefore be resolved that the mayor and council approve the request for a memorial bench at Eastern Point Beach in honor of Robert Bob Van Bibber in accordance with the procedures for consideration of beach and park memorials as approved by the mayor and council. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed in committee of the whole. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Deputy Mayor Beckford.
Mayor, just a moment. The pronunciation on this last name,
Van Bibber?
No, this is 28-Rabbit.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
Oh,
I just
okay.
don't want to butcher it. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council approve the request for a memorial bench at Eastern Point Beach in honor of Sandra Affelt Strasshofer Rabbiti in accordance with the procedures for consideration of beach and parks memorials as approved by the mayor and council. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. That was a mouthful for all those. Right? So we have a motion and a second. Is there any further? This is discussed in committee of the whole. Is there any further discussion? Councilor Depot.
Does it matter that he didn't read the resolution number?
I
Go ahead
can,
and read the resolution.
yes, resolution 20-8-82.
Okay, so now we have it all. All right. Is there any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Councilor Depot.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-20-8-83. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize and accept the Nuclear Safety Emergency Program budget as requested, allocated by the State of Connecticut Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection, Division of Emergency Management and Homeland Security, with the approval of the State of Connecticut Office of Policy and Management in the amount of $21,078.57 for equipment and resource allocation reimbursements. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was also discussed in committee of the whole. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Councilor Ortiz.
Okay. Resolution R-20-8-84. And therefore be resolved that the mayor and council authorize Groton Utility Management to provisionally approve change order number 17 from R.H. White Construction Company Incorporated, 41 Central Street, Auburn, Massachusetts, for water treatment plant supply, chemical metering, pump, diaphragm, leak detectors, part control panel, power supply, and panel alterations. Additional valves not listed on the valve schedules, FRP, rating credit, and air scour, blower feet alteration as part of the State of Connecticut Drinking Water State Revolving Fund, DWSRF, project number 2013-0140, pending final approval by the State of Connecticut Department of Public Health, DPH, in an amount not to exceed $46,611.54, and Mayor Keith Hendrick be authorized to execute the change order number 17 upon final approval by the State of Connecticut Department of Public Health. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Councilor Carter.
R-20-8-85. Therefore be resolved that the mayor and council finally approve the ordinance approving revisions to the existing water rate schedule for the City of Groton Department of Utilities, Water Division for all the water services located within Groton and Eastern Point Division Services Territory to be effective for water service billed on and after October 1, 2020, on and after October 1st, 2021, and on and after October 1, 2022, and thereafter until revised as follows.
You can move it at that.
I so move.
Yeah, you can go ahead and move it. Okay. Moved, seconded, so we have a motion and a second. We discussed this during the committee of the whole. Well, yeah, there's a lot to go through, so we're not, during the committee of the whole, we also truncated the resolution. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Councilor McKee.
Resolution R-20-8-86. Therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize and approve a donation of $300 and no cents to the Fleet Reserve Association, 242 Thames Street, Groton, Connecticut. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This is also discussed at the committee of the whole. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Councilor Stanford.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution R-20-8-87. Therefore, be resolved that the mayor and council waive the bid requirement and approve and authorize the contract extension with Honkers LLC, 14 Dimmick Road, Waterford, Connecticut, for services from July 1, 2020 to June 30th, 2021 for the continuation of goose control services at city parks for a cost of $435 per week. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second discussed during the committee of the whole. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carries. Where are we, Councilor? Oh, sorry, Deputy Mayor Beckford. My apologies.
That's all right. Resolution 20-8-88. Therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize and approve Mayor Keith Hedrick to waive the bid process and enter into a contract for motor repair for Tower Number 15 with Chipman's Fire Equipment Company, Incorporated, 172 Crossroads, Waterford, Connecticut, in the amount of $12,271.79, an additional contingency of $1,227.18, reserved for contract changes for a total authorization of $13,498.96, to be paid from funds available in the fiscal year 2021 operating budget. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We discussed this during the committee of the whole. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Councilor Depot.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-20-8-89, therefore be it resolved in accordance with the provisions of Connecticut General Statute, Section 7-474B, the mayor and the City of Groton Council hereby accept the aforesaid agreement, and that the mayor is hereby authorized and directed to execute said agreement on behalf of the City of Groton. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This was discussed. This was discussed during executive session. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We are adjourned. Thank you for coming out, and thank you for your attention to detail and for everything that you do.
Minerva and Rashad.
Yeah. Do you have different schedules, or do you work a set?
Different routines.
What's a good time for you
I
guys?
to do it around 5.
Oh, no, I work day shift now. I mean, my days, I'll be free at 5. I know.
Yeah, good seeing you.
Because then I'll come from a job over here.